The widowed millionaire, Daniel Harrington, had built his empire from nothing. At just 42, he owned luxury hotels across 3 continents, a fleet of private jets, and more wealth than he could ever spend in 10 lifetimes. Yet, despite all his success, his mansion felt emptier every day since his wife, Emily, passed away 2 years ago. The silence of the grand halls echoed louder than any boardroom applause ever could. Daniel had become distant, cold, and focused only on work until one morning something unusual caught his attention. It was Lily, the quiet maid who had been working in his house for nearly 6 months. She was always punctual, polite, and almost invisible. But today, Daniel noticed something different. Her uniform seemed tighter, and her steps were slower. Then he saw it clearly: Lily was pregnant. Daniel froze in the hallway, confusion spreading across his face. He didn't remember her mentioning a husband, a boyfriend, or any family. She had always been reserved and rarely spoken, less spoken to. But what troubled him most was the sadness in her eyes. She wasn't glowing like most expecting mothers. Instead, she looked exhausted, worried, and frightened. That day, Daniel couldn't focus on anything. Even during his important business calls, his mind kept drifting back to Lily. Something about her condition stirred a strange feeling inside him: concern, curiosity, and an unexplainable pull. By afternoon, Daniel made an unusual decision. For the first time in years, he cancelled all his meetings. Quietly, without informing anyone, he followed Lily after her shift ended. She left the mansion carrying a worn-out bag, walking toward the bus stop instead of calling a taxi. Daniel stayed at a distance, watching as she boarded an old, crowded bus. This surprised him. He assumed she would live somewhere decent given the salary he paid his staff. But as the bus moved farther from the wealthy neighborhood, Daniel's concern deepened. After nearly 40 minutes, Lily stepped off in a run-down part of the city. Daniel parked his car discreetly and followed her on foot. The streets were cracked, buildings faded, and children played barefoot near broken sidewalks. Lily walked slowly, occasionally holding her belly as if she was in discomfort. Daniel's heart tightened. Eventually, she stopped in front of a small, old building that looked barely livable. But instead of entering, Lily turned toward a small grocery store. She carefully picked up a few basic items: milk, bread, and medicine. Daniel noticed her counting coins, hesitating before placing items back. Then something unexpected happened. A small boy ran toward her shouting, "Mom!" Lily's face instantly softened, and she knelt down, hugging him gently. Daniel felt shock run through him. Mom! She already had a child. The boy looked about 5 years old, thin but cheerful. Lily kissed his forehead and handed him the small bag. They walked together toward the building. Daniel followed quietly and watched from a distance. When Lily opened the door, Daniel's breath caught in his throat. Inside the tiny apartment were 2 elderly people sitting on a worn couch. The old woman looked sick, coughing weakly, while the old man struggled to stand up. Lily immediately rushed to them, offering medicine and helping the elderly woman drink water. The little boy sat quietly beside them. Daniel felt his chest tighten. This wasn't just a pregnant maid. She was supporting a child and caring for elderly parents alone. Daniel stood outside, overwhelmed. But then he noticed Lily pulling out an envelope from her bag. She opened it and counted the money, her entire salary. She separated a small portion, placing it in a drawer, and handed the rest to the elderly man. "For rent and medicines," she said softly. Her voice trembled slightly. The old man shook his head, tears in his eyes. "You need this for yourself and the baby." Lily smiled faintly. They needed more. Daniel felt something break inside him. He had spent thousands on dinners he never finished, while Lily sacrificed everything for her family. But what happened next shattered him completely. The little boy climbed onto Lily's lap and asked innocently, "Mom, when will Dad come back?" Lily froze. She gently stroked his hair and whispered, "He's watching us from heaven." Daniel's eyes widened. Lily was widowed, too. Suddenly, Daniel saw himself in her, 2 broken people carrying silent grief. Lily then pulled out an old photograph from her bag. Daniel leaned closer and felt tears form in his eyes. It was a picture of Lily with her husband and Emily, Daniel's late wife, standing beside them. Daniel couldn't believe it. Emily had once volunteered at a charity center years ago. Lily's husband had apparently worked there as a driver. Daniel realized Emily had been secretly supporting Lily's family long before Lily ever came to work at the mansion. Lily whispered softly while looking at the photo, "Your kindness saved us once. I just wish you were still here." Daniel's tears rolled down his face. Emily had helped Lily, and now Lily was unknowingly part of Daniel's life. It felt like Emily had sent her into his world for a reason. Daniel wiped his eyes and quietly returned to his car, his heart heavier but warmer than it had been in years. The next morning, Lily arrived at the mansion as usual, unaware that Daniel had discovered everything. But things were different. Daniel called her into his office. Lily looked nervous, thinking she had made a mistake. But Daniel surprised her. "From today, you're no longer just a maid," he said gently. "You'll move into the guest house. Your family will receive full medical support, and your son will attend the best school." Lily's eyes filled with tears instantly. "Sir, I can't accept." Daniel interrupted softly, "My wife once helped you. Now, let me continue her kindness." Lily broke down, unable to hold her emotions. Daniel felt tears in his own eyes again. For the first time since Emily's death, he felt purpose returning to his life. Sometimes, the greatest secrets aren't scandals or betrayals, but silent sacrifices hidden behind quiet smiles. And sometimes, following someone for a day can change your heart forever. If this emotional story touched your heart and you believe kindness still exists in this world, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with someone who believes in humanity. Your support helps us bring more powerful and inspiring stories like this every day.